So for the next part of our discussion, we will be talking about the audit procedures performed by the auditor when considering internal controls. Okay? So, alamin natin, okay, paano siya, ano yung magiging reaction niya or response niya kapag ka in-assess ang control risk at maximum level, in-assess ang control risk at less than high. Okay, so, and then ano-ano yung mga requirements ng standards. Nasusundan po ba? Okay, so, sige. So, what would be the auditor's procedure? So, first dyan would be the auditor will obtain an understanding of the entity's internal control. Okay, so limit lang natin muna sa internal control ha. So, understanding of internal control. Ayan. So, dito na yan. So, part yan nung audit planning pa. Diba? Whenever you're obtaining an understanding of the entity and its environment, including its internal control, eto. Diba? So, planning yon, no? So, yan yung steps niya dyan. So, ano-ano po yung mga procedures na gagawin niya? O, di ba, pagka tinanong ka ng specific procedure, anong isasagot mo? Dahil planning to, inquiry, observation, inspection. Okay? Tapos, di ba, may pang-apat na analytical procedures. However, never associate analytical procedures with internal controls. Diba? Kasi kailan lang siya pine-perform? Planning, substantive, completing. Diba? Wala naman dun sa internal control doon. Okay? So, yung sa planning niya, sa other aspects, dun sa financial. Okay? Pero kapag internal controls yung ine-examine natin, okay? Hindi appropriate ang analytical procedures. Okay? So, for the specific procedures na ginagawa when obtaining an understanding, inquiry, observation, and inspection lang po. Huwag isasama si analytical procedures. Kuha? Okay. So, pag nag-obtain nyo ng understanding, okay, so i-consider yung different components na pinag-usapan natin. And then, okay, ang magiging focus niya, okay, would be, una, yung design. So, design ng internal controls. Okay, so when you say design, yung existence ng policies and procedures. Okay? So, pag tinanong ka, anong procedure, anong specific procedure yung ginagawa ni auditor to establish whether or not there are written policies and procedures. Okay? Pagka ganyan, okay, para kasi masabi mo may design, dapat documented siya. So, di ba, palagi pwede namang isabay ang inquiry. Okay? And then, dahil may document siya, so pwede kang mag-perform ng inspection. So, inquiry and inspection. Nasundan? Okay, so when you are obtaining on the design, okay, of the internal control, yan, inquiry and inspection. Okay, so nakakita na po ba kayo ng internal control manuals? Yan, so yan yung titignan niya. O may policies ba kayo na nakasulat? Diba? O tayo, nakakita na tayo nun, most likely, yung best example niyan sa experience natin, sa level natin, kung, syempre, lahat tayo naging estudyante, yung student handbook, that's already an example of internal control manuals. Diba? Nandun yung mga policies and procedures na kailangang i-observe nung estudyante. Okay? O, syempre, sa business, yung employee handbook, okay? Or meron silang internal control manuals talaga. Clear? Nakuha mo? Okay, next. Aside from the design, okay, the auditor will also check, okay, kung yung policies and procedures na sinabing naka-design, ayan, are being implemented. So, titignan niya po yung implementation. So, ginagawa ba? Okay? As to the specific procedure, paano mo malalaman kung ginagawa ba? Eh di, ayan, pwedeng mag-inquire, tas dahil performance siya ng procedure, okay, eh di, inquiry and observation naman. Ayan, inquiry and observation. Nasundan mo? So, design, okay, may policies ba? And then, okay, ini-implement pa. Okay, isa pang concept, basta po documented siya, yung may audit trail, pag internal controls pagka may documentary evidence or audit trail, you can do inquiry and inspection. Pero pag walang audit trail, ayan, inquiry and observation. Okay, isang concept uli yun, ha? Next po, another concept. Di ba, ang perfect scenario would be dapat may design and at the same time it's being implemented. Okay? What if pinapili ka? Anong mas okay na scenario? Okay? Scenario 1, may design pero walang implementation. Or scenario 2, walang documented na policies and procedures, pero merong controls na ini-implement. Which is a better scenario. May design, walang implementation. Okay? Walang design, okay, pero may ini-implement na policies and procedures, hindi nga lang documented. So, which is a better scenario? Answer? Okay, answer there would be yung scenario 2. Okay, scenario 2. Okay, mas okay yung kahit na walang documented na policies and procedures, pero may ginagawa pa ring procedures. Or may sinusunod pa ring policies. Nakuha mo. So, para ang downfall lang nun, hindi lang siya documented. Kuha po ba? Gets mo to? Sige. So, ayun ha. So, again ha, perfect scenario that may design and it's being implemented. Clear? Clear? O, ano pa? Next po, when you're obtaining an understanding, okay, ang focus mo lang would be design and implementation. Hindi mo pa titignan kung maganda o pangit yung controls. So, you are not going to evaluate yung operating effectiveness. So, sa test of controls pang evaluation. Malilito, ha? Next po. So, eto, after obtaining an understanding, required tayo dyan na i-document. Okay? Kailangan i-document natin yung ano ba yung procedures na ginawa mo, procedures performed, information obtained. Tapos yung magiging conclusion mo. Okay? Next, pero bago yan, bago siya mag-document, okay, may isang procedure pang commonly ginagawa si auditor. Okay, yung tinatawag natin na walk-through test. Yan, walk-through test. So, or process walkthrough. Yan. So, yung walkthrough test, po, ang procedure nito would be, titignan nila, di ba? Titignan ni auditor kung tama, ang main purpose niya, titignan niya kung tama ba yung pagkakadocument. Kasi may na-obtain akong understanding, may din-document ako. Okay, so check niya, ito yung sabi, ito yung sa documentation ko, ito yung ganito niya i-perform yung process. Yeah, so walkthrough. Okay, so walkthrough is a form of observation. Okay, it's a form of observation. Kaya titignan mo kung tama yung pagkakaintindi mo, di ba? Okay, tas tama yung pagkakadocument. Okay? Ang kaibahan niya sa general observation, okay? Sa general observation kasi, halimbawa, 5 yung processor. Okay? Tapos sa process 1 and process 2 ka lang tumingin. Tapos kahit gaano karaming tinest mo. Okay? General observation yon. Ang walkthrough, kahit isa lang. Basta lahat ng processes, okay? Yung processing ng entire nung isang document na yon from the initiation up to its eventual end, okay? Dapat nasundan mo para masabi siyang walkthrough test. Nakuha? Kahit isa lang. Okay? So, ang purpose nun, again, the purpose of a walkthrough test is to confirm the understanding of the auditor. Kung tama ba yung dinocument niyang pagkakaintindi niya dun sa process. Is that clear? And then, after that, di ba sabi natin, magkakaroon to ng conclusion. Ang magiging conclusion niyan, the auditor will make a preliminary assessment of control risk. So, preliminary assessment of control risk. Okay? So, ito na yung expectation. Ine-expect niya bang maganda? Ine-expect niya bang pangit? Okay? So, ayun. So, pag in-assess niya ang control risk, mataas. Okay? Ano kino-communicate niya? Ano ibig sabihin pag mataas ang control risk? Pag mataas po ang control risk, ang kino-communicate nun, pangit yung controls. Okay? Walang expected effectiveness yung control. Nasusundan mo? Okay? So, bakit? Kasi, ang taas ng risk na hindi niya madidetect yung material misstatements. Ang taas ng risk na yung controls na to will not be able to identify, okay? Neither detect nor prevent, okay, the misstatement from happening. Nasundan mo siya? Okay, so pangit yung controls. Okay, pwede rin naman na assessment niya, dito ko lagay ha, okay, would be at less than high. Yan. At less than high. Okay? So, paano po pag in-assess niya ng mataas? Okay, paano pag in-assess niya ng mababa? Okay, ito, tinatawag siyang no reliance approach because the auditor does not intend to rely on the controls. Okay, no reliance approach. Okay, sa no reliance approach, okay, didiretso po siya sa substantive test. Okay? So, because of that, tinatawag siya na primarily substantive approach. Primarily substantive approach. No reliance approach because the auditor will not rely on the controls. Primarily substantive approach because the auditor will rely heavily on substantive testing to gather sufficient appropriate evidence. Did you get that? Clear po ba to? Okay. Next, so anong kino-communicate niya? Controls are expected to be ineffective. The auditor intends to rely heavily on substantive tests. It would be inefficient for the auditor to test the controls. Yan yung mga kino-communicate niya dyan. Dito naman, babaliktarin mo lang. Babaliktarin mo lang. So, may expected effectiveness naman. So, ito, reliance approach. Reliance approach. Tapos, hindi siya, walang kabaliktaran yung primarily substantive approach. So, reliance approach siya, tapos meron siyang expected effectiveness, and then it would be efficient. It would be efficient to test the controls. Okay? So, pag in-assess niyo yung control risk at less than high, ano po yung next procedure? Okay, the auditor needs to support such assessment. Kailangan masuportahan niya, totoo ba na mababa yung control risk? Okay? In order to do that, okay, perform siya ng test of controls. Yan na. So, test of controls. The auditor will test the controls. Clear? Clear po ba? So, anong concept? So, you'll only be performing test of controls if the auditor has an expectation that the controls are effective. Ang purpose nun is to support the preliminary assessment. To support the preliminary assessment. Okay, so ano i-establish niya? So, parang another way of asking, ano rin yung objective ng test of controls? Dito, the auditor needs to establish yung tinatawag na operating effectiveness of the controls. So, dito na ngayon titignan yung maganda ba o pangit ba yung controls. So, operating effectiveness. Are you getting this? Nakukuha po ba? Ayan ha. So, dito pa lang. Okay? However, syempre, di ba, ang weird naman, yung ino-observe, nasa obtaining and understanding ka pa lang. Nandito ka pa lang. Tapos, kaya mo nang ma-identify kung effective ba o ineffective. Di ba? Weird naman kung hahayaan mo pang, hindi mo pa i-document yung operating effectiveness. Di ba? Okay, so pagka ganun ang tawag doon, dual purpose test. Okay, kasi the procedure was able to address two or more objectives. Yung objective mo for audit planning at saka yung objective mo for test of controls. So okay lang yan. Nasundan. O kaya lang tandaan, pagka nag-obtain ng understanding, okay, design and implementation lang. Okay, sa test of controls mo pa lang titignan yung operating effectiveness. Is that clear? Okay, next. So, after that, anong susunod? Okay, the auditor will then make a reassessment. Okay, reassessment of control risk. The auditor will make a reassessment. So, pag nag-reassess siya, pwedeng ang conclusion niya, control risk is high, or control risk is less than high. Diba? So, in-expect ko maganda. It turned out pangit pala. Diba? So, akala ko effective. Mali ako. Ineffective siya. So, mag-switch siya from reliance approach to no reliance approach. Okay? So, di pagka ganyan, anong next na gagawin niya? Perform siya ng substantive test. Perform ng substantive test. Okay, paano kapag ganito? In-expect niya yung control risk to be less than high. It turned out, okay, mababa nga, less than high, below maximum level. Anong next na procedure? Substantive test siya. O anong konsepto? Okay, anong konsepto na dapat mong baunin? Test of controls will only be required if may expected effectiveness. Ang purpose is to provide evidence, di ba, na tama yung initial assessment, yung preliminary assessment. Clear? O, ano pa? Tignan mo mataas ang control risk, diretsong substantive test. Mataas ang control risk, substantive test. Mababa ang control risk, substantive test. Anong konsepto? Regardless of the assessed level of control risk, the auditor will always perform some substantive test. So substantive test can never be eliminated. Substantive test is a required procedure. Okay? Si test of controls, hindi Diba? Pwede, pag hindi ka magre-rely, no need to perform test of controls. Pero pagka magre-rely ka, ayan, you need to perform test of controls. Nasundan? Nakuha mo yung concepts. Kuha po ba? Sige. So, ayan. Ano pa? So, ano pa yung mga concept na dapat na familiar tayo? Okay, ito Dito sa test of controls, okay, sa test of controls, paano po kung recurring audit? Recurring audit siya. Halimbawa, year 1, okay, ito yung mga tanong, required ka ba na mag-obtain ng understanding? Okay, so anong sagot? Yes, year 1. Kailangan intindihin natin, di ba? Okay, tapos nagkaroon ng assessment ng control risk at less than high. Okay? Kasi wala tayong pag-usapang test of controls pag in-assess natin siya at max level, di ba? Okay, next. Ang next na tanong, required ka ba na mag-test of controls? Anong sagot? Yes. Okay, kasi di ba, basta in-assess mo ang control risk at less than high, kailangan mo siyang suportahan by performing test of controls. Clear? Next, year 2. Year 2. Required ka ba to obtain an understanding? Required ka ba to obtain an understanding? Anong sagot? Okay, answer? Answer po. Okay, yes. Part yan ng planning. Required na mag-obtain. Clear? Every time na mag-audit tayo. Okay? So, mas madali nga lang kapag ka-subsequent audit na kasi i-update mo na lang yung alam mo. Gets? Okay, next. Ano pa? What if you assess control risk at less than high? So, nalaman mo, okay, there are no significant changes, okay, and control risk remain to be at less than high. So, dapat dalawang condition. No significant changes, control risk remain to be at less than high. Okay? Question. Required ka ba na mag-test of controls? Anong sagot? Tignan mo to. Hindi na. Again no significant changes and then control risk should remain at less than high. Kasi pagka nga naman may significant changes, kailangan mo uling aralin, kailangan mo i-test, di ba? Okay, kapag ka naman hindi siya nag-remain at less than high, hindi mo talaga kailangan mag-test of controls. Gets mo? Kasi dito yung magiging assessment mo. No? Okay? Next. Year 3. Okay? Year 3. Required? Yes. Every audit. Di ba? Every year. Okay? Tas ganun pa rin. No significant changes, control risk remain to be at less than high. Perform ka ba test of controls? Hindi. Ano kayang konsepto? Year 4. Okay? Huwag ka mag-alala hanggang year 100 to. Okay? So, required. Tas nalaman mo, remain to be at less than high. Required ka na bang mag-test of controls? Anong sagot? Answer po would be yes. So, ang mangyayari, kahit na once every 3 years na lang. Once every 3 years. Nakuha mo? Dapat dalawang conditions. No significant changes and control risk remain to be at less than 9. May mabago lang na isa doon. Kailangan mag-test of controls. Okay? Or kung in-assess at max level, di walang test of controls. Clear? Clear siya? Nasundan mo to? Next. Ano pa? Diba? Ito, the general rule is whenever you assess control risk at less than high, you'll be performing test of controls. Ito, exception to the rule. Diba? Exception to Diba? In-assess mo yung control risk at less than high, pero hindi ka nag-test of controls. Clear? Okay, so exception. Ngayon, may exception to the exception. Okay, ano po yung exception to the exception? Sabi niya, yan. If the control involves significant risk, nalala mo pa to sa planning. Okay, so ano po yung significant risk? Okay, risk that will require special audit consideration. So yung mga may history ng fraudulent activities, yung ginagamit to record complex transactions, di ba? Yan. Sabi niya, if the control involves significant risk, okay, if you assess control risk at less than high, or if you assess control risk at less than high, automatic po, perform ka ng test of controls. Automatic yan. Perform ka ng test of controls. Nasundan? Nakuha mo siya? Ganun ha. If it involves significant risk, every time you assess control risk at less than high, you need to perform test of controls. Clear? Clear tayo doon? Sige. So, yan. Next. So, ito po yung ano natin, yung sa test, sa performance ng test of controls. Another possible reason why you'll be performing test of controls would be if, sabi ni standards, no, if substantive testing alone cannot provide sufficient appropriate evidence. If substantive testing alone cannot provide sufficient appropriate evidence, the auditor will be performing test of controls. Nakuha mo siya? Yan. So, yun yung ano nun. Yun yung, so, pagka ganon, i-assess yung control risk at less than high, test of controls siya. Kasi, wala siyang makukuhang sufficient appropriate evidence kapag ka hindi siya nag-test of controls. Did you get that? Nakuha po? So, you'll be performing test of controls if substantive testing alone cannot provide sufficient appropriate evidence. Clear? Clear yan? O, sige. Next, tamaan pa natin. Ano pa? Documentation requirement. Okay? So, mamaya may quick rundown naman tayo, pero ilagay na natin. Documentation requirement, o di ba dito? Sa di ba? Nag-walkthrough pa nga tayo, kailangan i-document. Okay? Ano pa? Every time you make an assessment of control risk. Ito. Every time you make an assessment of control risk. Nasundan? So, yung mga binilugan natin, ha? Yung mga binilugan. Ano pa? Ito po. Ito yung importante. Diba ang effect ng control risk? Pag in-assessment at less than high, konting substantive test na lang. Ito kasi marami. Tapos ito, mas marami to. So, if you assess control risk at less than high, you need to document your basis, okay, for concluding, okay, that control risk should be assessed at less than high. Parang kailangan i-justify mo siya. Kasi nga, lesser procedures yung kailangan perform. Pero, kung in-assess mo siya at max level, no need to explain. Bakit? Kasi ano naman yung ipa-perform procedures mas marami. Mas effective yung substantive kaysa sa test of control. So, hindi mo kailangan i-justify. So, dito ka kailangan mag-justify yung basis for conclusion. Is that clear? So, yan ha. So, yan yung sa documentation requirement. Yung understanding, okay, ano pa? Every time you make an assessment of control risk, so control risk assessment, and then basis for conclusion if control risk is ultimately assessed at less than high. Did you get that? Nakuha po ba yun? Okay. So, yan ha. So, ayan yung ating procedure. Okay, puntahan lang po natin yung documentation requirement. Okay, so for the documentation requirement and communication, ito. So below are items required by the standards to be documented and related to study and evaluation. So yung tatlong binanggit natin. Diba? Control risk assessment, understanding of internal control, and basis for the control risk assessment if you ultimately assess control risk at less than high. Ha? If you ultimately assess control risk at less than high. You kindly note on that. Ha? Okay, next. And then for the communication requirement, the auditor shall communicate material weaknesses in internal control identified during the audit on a timely basis to management or appropriate level of management, or with those charged with governance, unless all those charged with governance are already involved in managing the entity. Nakuha mo siya? So, eto po yung communication, it's a desirable byproduct of audit. Okay, bakit kailangan natin siyang, eto required ha, bakit kailangan mo siyang i-communicate? Okay, para po magkaroon ng opportunity yung kliyente natin to do appropriate procedures to improve their existing internal control. Kasi pag po nag-improve yung internal control system nila, win-win situation yon. win-win situation sa part ng kliyente at sa part ng auditor. Kasi sa part ng kliyente, di magkakaroon sila ng mas effective na procedures. Okay? Sa part naman ng auditor, o di ba, effective na yung procedure. Dahil sa audit na yon, naging effective yung internal controls nila. Next year na yung audit natin siya, di mas effective na. So, pwede ka nang mag-perform ng more efficient procedures. Diba? Pwedeng less extensive na substantive test na lang. Kasi nga, magiging effective, magiging mas reliable yung system niya. Nakuha mo? Nasundan po ba? So, yan po, no, yung uh, appropriate responses of the auditor when considering yung ating internal control. Okay?